What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at it again with another video. So we're gonna check out 10 wrestlers who never broke character in real life. I truly appreciate when wrestlers keep kayfabe alive, especially in a time period where, social media is pretty much everywhere. Cameras are everywhere, so it's kind of hard to do that, considering a lot of people know that wrestling is predetermined, the stories are predetermined, and it's kind of hard to do that when people have Instagram pages and Facebook pages and YouTube channels. But the wrestlers that find a way to try to keep kayfabe alive within their character as much as possible, I can appreciate that, especially the ones that actually use social media to keep that storyline going. I love that. I feel like as a wrestler, that's the best way to use social media. You keep those feuds and storylines going on as much as possible. Even though as us fans, we know it's predetermined, but sometimes it's cool to feel like, well, maybe this is real. Maybe they really don't like each other. I actually like that idea. So we're going to check out some of the wrestlers that still do that to this day. Appreciate all the love, support. Let's get right into it, man. Or some that did it for a while in the past and kept kayfabe alive.
1, 2, is this on?
Over the years, certain wrestlers have made efforts to keep kayfabe intact.
Does it make you question things?
Oh, I question my mother all the time. Like I said, I don't know what... My dad was gone all the time. That deadbeat 90s was a wild time. You know, I don't know what happened.
Some have chosen to stay in character after the cameras turn off.
What is that supposed to mean? It's a beautiful scarf. Anyone who thinks something... Yeah? If your dad had spent $10 for a condom, he'd be much happier, trust me.
Others have gone to extreme lengths to sell the quote-unquote injuries they suffered in the ring.
Ted DiBiase was taken to the hospital, and he was working the doctors, and he was feeling wonderful just laying in the hospital bed because the word, they thought, if we do that, we'll pay the hospital bills, and the word will get out from the people who work in the hospital that he's really in the hospital and his neck is fucked up.
Bro, think about how the extreme lengths they were going back in the day to keep kayfabe alive. Like, that's a crazy story. Like, they're going to the hospital to sell it. So that way, the people at the hospital can be like, yeah, I saw Ted DiBiase in here. You know, his neck seemed fine, but he said he was in a lot of pain. It's a lost art. I appreciate it. I love it.
Even been those that were rarely, if ever, seen out of character in public.
I wanted people to, when they saw me, even in public, I wanted people always go like, yeah, nah, I ain't fucking with that guy. Yeah.
For this video, we'll be looking at examples old
Love
and new of talent that did everything to make the fans believe that what they were seeing was real.
So I date this girl,
Unbelievable.
and she's got 2 kids. I better around them stay in character because I don't want them going to their school and go, hey, I heard your mom's dating Nikita Koloff, the wrestler guy. Does she really speak English? So for well over a year, even after I married their mother, I still spoke with the accent around them.
Wow.
Today, we highlight 10 wrestlers who went
That's
to
cool,
insane
bro.
lengths to keep kayfabe.
My father was a mean man. Mean in the way that he tortured us psychologically. He would play the angle out at home, his injuries. I remember crying myself to sleep many a night thinking my dad was going to die.
After turning heel on his father in 2022, Dominik Mysterio would stay in character during interviews outside the ring, especially when it came to keeping the feud alive with Ray.
I don't
So
think
good.
he wants to get in there with me, to be honest. I think it's gotten to the point where I've shown that I'm willing to do what it takes to take him out and to prove that, once again, I'm the only Mysterio that matters in this business at the end of the day. He's done, like Damien said, he's washed, and I just really don't think that he wants to be in there with me. Not only because I don't think he has the balls to, but just more of the fact that he understands that he can't hang in there with me.
Dom was absolutely ruthless, burying his dad any chance he got. It built sympathy for the Mysterio family, while putting heat on Dominik going forward.
Good.
I know I'm only 4 years in. I debuted in 2020, but I'm already so much better than my dad. And I've already done things with the Mysterio name that he could have never imagined. So
In 2005, Dominik and Ray fought off allegations that Eddie Guerrero was Dom's real father. But these days, it's not as clear-cut because of the way Dominik is in WWE, especially given how much he resembles Latino Heat as a so-called Latino cheat.
Does it make you question things?
Oh, I question my mother all the time. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what... My dad was gone all the time, or that deadbeat 90s was a wild time. You know, I don't know what happened. I just know I popped out and something happened, you know?
While taking after Eddie, Dom has continued to badmouth Ray and the Mysterio family.
good.
Every time Ray gets some form of revenge, Dominik has been there to throw it back in his face. Being so dedicated to living his character outside of the ring is why Dominik is so revered as a heel in this day and age.
I think some of the best things about being a heel is just having fun with it, man. You
Yeah.
can't, like, You can't let the noise get to you. And I'm one of those guys where like, I never really like. I grew up around a Mexican family. You know, our nicknames are insults. So like, I have tough skin. You know, like I was 3 years old. My mom's been pulling my ears, calling me Dumbo. So like, there's reasons why I don't like my family.
It's been deliberate effort made by Dom to get viewers to buy into his persona, and it's ultimately helped tremendously in getting in public. Friedman stays in character. He's famous for his interactions with fans at conventions, where he buries them to their face.
What is that supposed
This is why, hey, MJF is fantastic, bro. He is fantastic, and whatever he does, man, he's a great talent, generational talent. He is truly the embodiment of trying to keep kayfabe alive, bro. Doesn't matter if you're a kid, grown adult, big fan of his or not. He will disrespect you and be rude to you because that's MJF, and we love him for it. This is great.
to me? It's a beautiful scarf. Anyone who thinks, yeah. If your dad had spent $10 for a condom, he'd be much happier. Trust me.
MJF has perfectly blended the old school with the new. He keeps kayfabe like wrestlers did back in the day. But because he's on camera non-stop, Maxwell gets tons of mileage out of his heel character, even when he's not on TV thanks to social media.
I have an issue with professional wrestling fans. I'm going to tell you why. For some reason, they think they're supposed to have access to me. Like I'm your best bud, like I've known you, since pre-K. When that's not the case. Most of these people are white trash, hicks from the sticks that don't know their left from their right, don't know how to count all the way up to 10. And it's sad, but it's not my problem. So if I'm not making eye contact with you, I don't want to talk to you. If I'm not trying to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you. If I'm out to dinner, I don't want to talk to you. If I'm breathing, I don't want to talk to you.
Friedman also has a hilarious relationship with the wrestling media.
This guy just can turn his back on Cody. Completely despicable action. I'm still talking. I'm sorry. Completely despicable action. What do you want for us?
In every interview, he torments them, including settings where most talent traditionally speak out of character, but not MJF.
Nope. Best wrestler in the world. Is it Kenny Omega? Is it John Moxley? Is it Bryan Danielson? I'm just curious. Tell me, Dave. Is it your boy Kenny? Is it John? Yeah, laugh all you want, dipshit. I'm the fucking man now! Me!
I love it, bro. This is what I love, bro. I fucking love it, bro. I love it. Like, you buy into who he is because he's always on when the camera's on. And even if the cameras are not visibly on, you don't know where the cameras are, he's still on. I like that, bro. So cool.
I'm the best wrestler in the world! There is no more complete wrestler on this planet. Nobody's got my body. Nobody's got my mind. Nobody's got my brain. Inside that ring, on the microphone, hell. Even in a goddamn press conference, nobody can fucking touch me in this business.
Max isn't afraid to call out his own boss, Tony Khan. Together, they brought a storyline to TV that was born out of a legitimate dispute, which blurred the lines between fact and fiction.
I did not go because my boss at the time was being a fucking mark. If you don't want to pay me what I'm worth, Dad D does not show up to work.
This is MJF trying to be a Pillman.
Yeah, and no, it was MJF trying to make what he was, deserved to be making based on the numbers I bring in when I am on screen.
In the end, storylines like this, coupled with MJF's behavior in and outside the ring, greatly enhances the lore of his villainous story arc and character identity. Some gimmicks are so eccentric that seeing the performer out of character can damage the illusion more compared to your average wrestler. Cody Rhodes was basically playing himself until he became Stardust.
It was because I wanted to commit to it, but it was also because I hated the fact that if I had not, that would be the questioning. Why aren't you came here as Cody Rhodes. Why aren't you Cody Rhodes? I wouldn't have had an answer.
An interstellar space athlete, born from the feeling of childlike wonder.
The interstellar world has never had a presence in sports entertainment. It does now.
This portrayal was a complete 180 to who he was before, and just like we never saw Cody's brother Goldust out of his gimmick, Stardust was the very same.
I am having an affair with Cody Rhodes' wife.
Oh my
God.
It was brilliant seeing Rhodes show up to interviews dressed in full costume, where he spoke in cosmic techno babble while fully embracing the Stardust persona.
Cosmic key.
Think about it. This is the guy that's at the top. This is the guy that's at the top right now. He is your undisputed champion. This is who he was back in the day. Hey, that's why I love it, man, because you never know who will end up being a world champion. It just takes time and growth. And it makes sense now how far he's come and him having to leave and, come back. It all worked out. It makes sense in the grand scheme of things, but I don't think anyone thought when he was portraying Stardust that he would ever be the top guy in WWE. It's crazy.
Sounds like ambiguous, gibberish, nonsense. It's not.
What is it?
Let's get it. Let's break it down.
Okay.
Let's get naked. Right?
Okay.
We're,
I don't know if we can put this on YouTube.
No. And I was told this is a bizarre, not the appropriate term. Gold Dust and Stardust are going to penetrate SummerSlam. This there's so much implied here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
I can feel a certain energy running through my body.
Absolutely.
It's heading down to my groin, which is weird.
Well, you might be pregnant.
You know, our sun is tinted yellow by the atmosphere, but it's actually white. What?
In modern times, we saw WWE and Seth Rollins doing their best to try and fool fans into thinking he was injured.
Springboard senton by Rollins, and now a moonsault lands on his feet, may have tweaked his knee. We saw Seth favor the knee.
I am not a doctor. I only know my body and what I feel. And what I feel is that this is going to be me out for an extended period of time.
Many theorized that Rollins' injury was indeed a work, and industry insiders essentially confirmed it.
I was told 2 days before this to look out for an injury angle with Seth Rollins that would, it was even described to me, it would be an injury angle that gets him on crutches going into SummerSlam.
Despite everything, it was still fun for fans to speculate, as the angle added intrigue for his grand return a few weeks later at the 2025 SummerSlam.
Oh, he was selling it, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were some of my posts misleading?
Oh, this is such a great moment, bro.
Oh my God, Rollins is the world heavyweight
This is such a
I hope you don't mind the next time you come to sit for the chair. We've got a new logo for you. It's called the Liar Liar Pants on Fire Show.
In the internet age, a stunt like Seth's is difficult to pull off. Back in the day, it was easier. The wrestlers still had to put in work to make things believable. Take Ted DiBiase, for example. In 1981, he sold the absolute hell out of receiving 4 pile drivers in Georgia.
Jeez.
Ted kicked out of 3 until the 4th finally put him away. DiBiase then went above and beyond to appear like he was badly hurt.
I remember like when Ted DiBiase took the pile driver on the floor from Terry Gordy, and Ted DiBiase was taken to the hospital, and he was in the hospital for several days, and he was working the doctors while lying there in the hospital, saying that his neck is killing him, and he was getting all these painkillers put in him, and he was feeling wonderful just laying in the hospital bed because the word they thought, Barnett and all those people thought that, like, if we do that, we'll pay the hospital bills, and the word will get out from the people who work in the hospital that he's really in the hospital and his neck is fucked up.
Another classic injury angle was when the fabulous Freebirds blinded the Junkyard Dog in 1980.
Dog has been stuck comes and tries to come to your aid. As he yanks Michael Hayes around right there, it goes into his eyes.
Many fans thought JYD was really blind, since he did such an excellent job selling his lack of sight anytime he was in public. All this put massive heat on the Freebirds. At one point in the feud, Dog sat ringside while the Freebirds taunted him from inside the squared circle. A fan then attempted to come to Dog's aid. The problem was this person was armed, which JYD could observe behind his see-through eye patches. However, Dog couldn't intervene because doing so would expose that he wasn't actually blind.
Freebirds look around and they see Dog.
Think about that. I've heard about this story before, but think about how committed they were. He's walking around pretending he can't see because of what they did, and a fan got so pissed that he brought a weapon and was ready to, get some revenge for the homie. Think about that. And he has to sit there and sell it, even though it's a life and death situation potentially. That's what the wrestling business was, bro. People didn't know.
Dog sitting in the corner, and all of a sudden, some guy comes over the railing and is right there at Dog's shoulder, and the guy pulls out the biggest gun he's ever seen and says, "Don't worry, Dog, I got him." And for 2 seconds, Dog is conflicted. Do I grab this guy's gun and save their lives, but expose that I can see, or do I sit here and let him shoot him? And while he was conflicted, the cops came over the rail and grabbed the guy and took him down.
Christopher Daniels is a modern example of
Crazy.
someone who was sold an eye injury to the 10th degree after getting super kicked into the ring post on the May 12, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite.
A lot of jealousy out there. Look at his head. Went right into that ring post. Nick Jackson just super kicked.
Daniels began sporting a nasty mark on his eye. This gash persisted any time he was seen thereafter. The Fallen Angel even spoke about its legitimacy during out-of-character interviews with the likes of Chris Van Vliet.
It's more cosmetic than anything. I've been checked up a couple times. The vision's fine. Like when I talked to the doctor about it, he said that it can happen on occasion. That hemorrhages just sort of don't drain or heal. It doesn't because it doesn't have anything to do with the iris itself. It's just the white of the eye that's sort of discolored.
Daniel's eye was finally back to normal again 2 years later, but it wasn't until 2025 that he revealed it was all a ruse. The gash was real at first, but healed after a few days. Daniels thought it looked cool, so used a special contact lens to make the wound seem permanent.
Like later down the line, I was like, oh, we're not really concentrating on this. This isn't really a thing anymore. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's time for the eye to heal. And so, I wore it for a year and a half, and I wore it everywhere.
Don Callis has done something similar in modern times. Upon getting busted open by John Moxley on the March 29, 2023 Dynamite, Callis was left with a scar that remains on his head to this day.
This is last week all over again.
Yep.
Got more Dynamite still to come. Oh, man.
Even though Don got cut deep after colliding with a light fixture, the leftover abrasion is simply makeup that he applies before every show. Historically, wrestlers portraying a different nationality had to go that extra mile to not give away where they were actually from. But no one went as far as 80s legend Nikita Koloff. The so-called Russian nightmare was really a guy from Minnesota named Scott Simpson.
You know, I'm this far from defeating you for World Heavyweight title.
He went to great lengths to make people believe, such as by getting Soviet propaganda magazines sent to his house, not to mention speaking with a fake Russian accent in the locker room. Koloff even altered his birth certificate.
I legally changed my name to Nikita Koloff to get this character over. Now, Jim Crockett didn't ask me to do that. I did that on my own.
Nikita's level of method acting trumped any Hollywood star. Koloff auditioned to be Ivan Drago in Rocky IV, with the movie execs none the wiser to the fact Nikita was indeed American. No one was going to know he wasn't truly from Russia.
It was interesting because I would sometimes fly back to Minnesota and visit some of the family up there and explain to my mom, my dad, all of them. I'm like, hey, now if we go out to eat or something and we're out in public, I am going to be talking with an accent.
Koloff made it a point to not interact with fans. He would simply scare them away if they approached him after the matches. This kept the illusion alive that Nikita was a menacing foreign heel of few words. It also ensured that anyone who was legitimately from Russia didn't discover Koloff was faking. He was going to kayfabe as many people as possible, including those closest to him.
So I date this girl, and she's got 2 kids. I bet her around...
This is, man, it's a lost art, bro. And it's, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's really amazing when modern wrestlers are able to actually pull it off in a sense where you kind of don't know if they're being for real or not. But back then, when people truly believe what they saw on TV was legit, oh my God, the fact that they committed to it when they're not even in the ring all day, even to their family and to their loved ones, to the people around them, bro. To me, that's cool. That's fucking cool, bro. You're committed to your character no matter what.
Them stay in character because I don't want them going to their school and go, hey, I heard your mom's dating Nikita Koloff, the wrestler guy. Does she really speak English? Because people ask that all the time. Is he really from Russia? Does he really speak English? And I didn't want them to go, no, he speaks perfect English, right? So for well over a year, even after I married their mother, I still spoke with the accent around them under the same roof.
Grizzly Smith also liked to keep kayfabe at home, only in a much more nefarious way. Grizzly was the father of Jake the Snake Roberts. A young Jake watched his dad come home all bandaged up, selling the effects of the supposed injuries he suffered in the ring. Grizzly sold so much he had all his children convinced he may not survive his upcoming matches.
My father was a mean man. Mean in the way that he tortured us psychologically. He would play the angle out at home, his injuries, his feeling of the upcoming match, how dangerous this match was going to be with those guys. And, I look back now and I said, why didn't I figure it out? They kept showing up in the same territory my dad would go to every damn time. Oh, what the hell? These guys are chasing my father down. They're going to kill him.
Damn.
I remember crying myself to sleep many a night thinking my dad was going to die. And that bastard never told us anything.
Once Jake became a referee aged 19, Grizzly still hadn't smartened his son up to the business. This meant Jake officiated matches as if they were legit contests.
I call shit that I felt was wrong. I even disqualified a guy who wasn't supposed to be disqualified.
Oh, damn.
And I realized my father had been fucking with me ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah, that's
Having
tough,
done so
bro.
many terrible things that are too graphic to mention, he was truly a horrible human being in every sense of the word.
The story I got from my grandmother, man, was pretty ugly. Because I remember asking her if she had any regrets in her life. And she said she only had one. She goes, I should have killed your father when I had the chance.
Let's close things out with the rest.
And then to know the character that he ended up being, so menacing, so cold and calculated. Like, I know for a lot of people that grew up watching Jake Roberts, they were afraid of him, especially with him having that snake. But just, it's the way he delivered his lines with, like, I can't describe it. You just have to watch a promo from back in the day of Jake Roberts. It's just so menacing. And then you understand his upbringing. Then you kind of understand how he's able to tap into that. Not saying that's a good thing, because there was a lot of psychological trauma that he was dealing with his dad. But to channel that into a character that is menacing and scary and creepy, I mean, that's insane, bro. That is insane.
Who kept kayfabe for the longest, given their mythical gimmick and storied career. Once his in-ring days were over, The Undertaker had a hard time peeling back the curtain after so many years of keeping kayfabe. It was incredibly rare to see him out of character. He wasn't interviewed for documentaries, or even as a talking head in his own DVDs. This didn't come until much later.
Yeah, I think kayfabe died for sure when I came out and started talking as Mark Calloway.
Even when the cameras were off, Mark Calloway was committed to the Phenom persona and its mystique. He would still sign autographs and be friendly with fans when approached, but because he carried the same aura in real life as he did on television, people were scared of Taker and often left him alone if they saw him in public.
I wanted people to, when they saw me, even in public, I wanted people to always go like, yeah.
And think about some of the pictures we've seen of him hanging out with other wrestlers. You really didn't see too much of that. That was very rare you would see that. Like, a lot of the stuff, a lot of those wrestlers, they would kind of keep those photos and stuff to themselves because the Undertaker's in it. And we wanted to protect, a lot of wrestlers wanted to protect the gimmick and keep kayfabe alive for the Undertaker as well.
Nah, I ain't fucking with that guy.
Yeah.
No, there's something different.
Yeah.
I didn't have my wrestling gear on, but if you saw me in the airport, there'd be no doubt who that was. I was always dressed in black. I kept it going, and I lived it. I had to do that to give that character credibility.
And it worked.
Because the character itself was so over the top. You know, in my mind, I said, well, I've got to make people believe. And it was crazy what people believed. I mean, half the people was, are you really dead?
Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our similar video.
Are you really dead? As a kid growing up, I thought this motherfucker was dead. I did. But it's a testament to how great the character was. In having a great character like that on screen and being able to keep that momentum going when the cameras are not on or when you're just doing everyday things, it's dope, bro. Sometimes I do wish that WWE wouldn't peel back the curtain so much. Even though Unreal has its cool moments in how the show is made, I'm still one of those people that would prefer that it not be shown in great detail on some of these storylines that we've grown to love and care about, because I think it's just the idea of not knowing makes the show that much better. If I don't really know they don't really like each other or not, like, you start to make me question, and obviously we know that is predetermined, but if you can make me question just a bit, wait a minute. Like that Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle exchange, oh my God, that was so good. Y'all remember that? Where they were literally going back and forth in like this, sit down promo style situation. And they're saying some real wild stuff to each other, bro. Like, you start to be like, was that real? Wait, what's going on here? That shit was so good, bro. Love those type of moments. But hey, comment down below. Let me know some other wrestling related videos y'all want me to check out. I definitely will. Appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K. No, my bad. Road to 200K. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.